little dream.
If only I knew what was inside that box.
Got no regrets inside of me. Not looking back, not giving up, not letting go. I'll keep on running. I'm gonna reach for the stars, although they look pretty far. So bright, the colors feel so right. Just take my hand, we're gonna reach for the stars tonight. Tonight. Wake up, living day by day.
What are you doing? Especially at 6 in the morning.
I could ask you the same thing.
I asked you first.
Well, I asked you second.
Ugh. I'm up here waiting for Cameron to announce our second challenge.
Same here.
What are you guys doing here?
We're waiting for you to announce the next challenge.
Right. You guys do realize that you're awake, like, super early. Way too early for me to announce the challenge.
But you announced the challenge at like 7 in the morning yesterday.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean every challenge will be announced at the same time. I'm pretty sure I called you guys an hour before the other teams, so...
So the challenge really started at 8 in the morning. You had to spend at least 2 hours hiding in the same spot?
You were standing in front of a cave for 2 hours.
We don't talk about that.
So, when does the challenge begin?
Probably sometime later in the morning.
Specific time range?
I don't know, like 11 in the morning or something.
And what are we supposed to do?
Do whatever you want. Explore the place, hide in your trailers. It's not up to me.
We're back. Now, when do we start the challenge?
Guys, there's still 30 minutes left.
There's nothing to do in 30 minutes. We've done everything humanly possible there was to do.
Yeah, I'm honestly getting impatient. Start the challenge already.
You guys want a challenge? I'll give you a challenge. Rally everyone up here in under 2 minutes and you'll get a reward.
Bet!
Alright guys, time for your next challenge to begin. But before we begin, these three over here have won a special reward that'll help your teams. What? No fair. The other team will have 2 extra advantages compared to us getting 1. Then you're free to join them if you want that advantage so badly. Great. So, do you guys want to know what your advantages are? Alright, your advantage is not being able to compete in today's challenge.
What?
Yeah, you heard me. You guys are completely excused from this challenge.
That's unfair.
It was also unfair that you guys made me start the challenge a little early, but you don't hear me complaining. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. What? Anyways, you guys don't get an actual advantage in today's challenge, which is to buy me presents.
Wow, you disqualify us from a challenge and now you expect us to pamper you?
It was either that or be forced to eliminate you, and I really don't want to have to go with the latter option.
Point proven. Carry on.
So you guys will be given $100 to spend. You can buy however many things you want. 1 item, 2 items, a whole dozen, your choice. The team with the best present, or presents, will win today's challenge. Pretty straightforward if you ask me. Are we allowed to deplete the budget? Well, it's not recommended due to financial reasons, but you can if it's really necessary.
Sounds to me like someone has a spending problem.
I was asking just to be safe. Any further questions?
Yeah, where can we even find a single shopping place or a mall?
There should be a mall right over there. If there are no further questions, you're all free to start.
Team, gather round. Now we've already lost one member.
Which doesn't matter anymore. Honestly.
Are you going to shut up and let me speak, or are you going to make this challenge more difficult again? As I was saying, we can't afford to lose any other members of this team. I have an idea in mind, but does anyone else have any other ideas? Very well then. I think we should split the budget so that each of us can get Cameron at least something. They'd have a lot more presents that way, and we'll probably have about a couple of dollars to spare.
That's a nice plan, but there's only 7 of us here, and we only have $100. How do we split it evenly?
3 of us will probably have $20 to spend, while the rest have 10. Now, I trust that you, Caitlin, and Raylyn can each spend $20, while the rest of us can use the other 10.
That's not fair at all! Why can't I have the $20 instead?
Think of it this way. Sienna and Fitzgerald can't compete. I don't trust Salem spending the extra money, for obvious reasons. Blair would probably use the money to buy a murder weapon of some sort. I don't think I even need that much money to spend, and even though you're my friend and all, you have a bit of a spending problem.
Fine, but you'll regret this decision. It just won't be right now.
All right, now that we have that settled, let's head to the bank and... Wait, is there even a bank nearby?
No, there isn't. And you guys also can't leave the perimeters of the show yet. So you guys can't split the money.
Change of plans then. Find something that fits under your respective budget and bring it to me so I can confirm the pricing's okay. Sound good? All right, let's get going.
All right, does anyone have any ideas on what we should buy Cameron?
We should buy them some clothes.
Some jewelry.
Books.
A punching bag.
Take them out to a restaurant?
Rent them an apartment.
Military gear.
All of that seems over budget. Let's try to limit our options to just one. I think I might have an idea.
I get that you two are friends, but should we listen to him? He's not competing.
Let's hear him out. I know of a very popular action figure, something that everyone would want to get their hands on. It's called the computer action figure, which has the ability to come to life and even do certain jobs for you. It's multi-purpose.
That is a horrible idea. Do you understand the costs of a living action figure? That's basically just robots taking over the world as we know it. We've seen it with artificial intelligence, and now you want to do this?
Or that could just be your imagination talking. Robots aren't real, Dante. Grow up. We aren't kindergartners anymore.
Ha! This is exactly why I don't like him. He's a two-faced jerk who always switches up his personality every damn time I got something to say. He says we're still friends, but he doesn't act like we are. He's so damn delusional.
Dante and I are still friends, but they can be a child sometimes. They had a wild imagination back when we were in high school, but they can't seem to get over that. Does it have a cost? It's being sold at the mall for free, but only for a limited time. You guys gotta get there as soon as possible. You heard him, team. Let's get a move on.
Wow, this mall is huge.
Well, it's a mall. They're meant to be huge.
Oh my goodness. What happened to your eye?
Just some incident with saltwater after the last challenge. It's not that big of a deal, though. I'll be fine.
Did you get it checked yet?
I did, with the help of Lucy. The optometrist said that my eye's gonna be like this for a while. It's not permanent.
I'm sorry to hear that. I hope your eye gets better soon.
Thanks, I guess.
Be careful of who you trust.
Wait, I just realized we can't split the money, and we also can't leave any of these stores without paying. We're all going to have to go one at a time and pick out our gifts. Does anyone want to start? Anyone who's capable of spending money without spending it on themselves want to go first?
Ooh, I want to go. We'd have to head to the jewelry store to get it, though.
Doesn't that seem a bit expensive?
Trust me, I know what I'm doing. Follow me.
I guess we're following Grace then.
Damn, this is one big mall. How are we supposed to find a toy store here? There's like 5 floors. I guess we'll all have to split up and search for it. Denise, hold on to the money. I don't trust myself walking into a store without spending any money.
I won't let you down, Captain.
Alright, since there's only 8 of us and it's a big, big mall, we'll all have to split up individually so that we can cover more ground.
Cool, but how do we determine who goes where?
I have an idea. We're in the center of the mall, right? There's the east wing and the west wing. Desmond and I will cover the first floor. You and Denise can cover the second floor. Camille and Madeline will cover the third floor, and Santiago and Lucy can cover the fourth floor. You, Desmond, Camille, and Santiago will all cover the east wing, while the rest of us cover the west wing. We can worry about the 5th floor later. Everybody on board?
Sure.
Alright then, let's get searching.
I gotta hand it to you. For such an expensive store, I didn't even think custom-made earrings would be that cheap.
I may know a thing or two about jewelry.
Well, that's one store down. Who wants to go next?
I guess I can go next. There's a game store on the 3rd floor, so we have to travel upstairs.
Let's go there then.
Uh-oh. It's the other team. And they're blocking the entrance to the game store. What do we do?
The most we can do is act casual. So please try not to do anything out of the ordinary, especially you, Caitlin.
Hey, why are you coming at me?
You're just a bit weird.
Now's not the time to be fighting. It's the time to get going.
And what do you think you guys are doing?
We're just trying to enter the game store. We're here to do a challenge, and we're not trying to sabotage you. Just get out of our way.
I don't think so.
What do you mean?
You see, we're here to win by any and all means necessary. If that means stealing your money and using it all, we'd be happy to do that.
Hey, somebody's gotta stop them. Security!
You two are under arrest for thievery.
What?
I hope you two know that it's not so great to steal someone else's money. You poor thieves.
Oh man, I wish that was me being tackled and arrested right now.
Don't even. Never mind. Let's just head inside. Thanks for the help, officers.
Just doing our jobs.
Hey, wait! Those are my teammates.
Sir, are you responsible for these two?
In a way, yes. Yes, I am. I'm the team captain of a game show, and those 2 are my teammates.
Sir, these 2 were stealing money and jewelry from a group of about 7 people.
Is there a fine or a bill that I need to pay?
If you want to let these 2 go, you have to pay a $100 fine.
You 2 are lucky that the item that we're searching for is free. Here.
You guys are free to go, but don't do that again.
Wait, before you guys go, do you happen to know of a toy store that's around here?
There should be one up on the 5th floor.
Great, thank you.
Anytime.
What were you guys thinking?
Hey, at least we know where the toy store is, right?
That's besides the point. Why were you guys stealing from the other team? And of all things, why did it have to be the richest things anyone could ask for?
We thought it'd be a good idea to sabotage them so we could win.
Yes, but you were stealing money and jewelry.
In our defense, the jewelry was already paid for.
But it was stolen from someone who already paid for it, making it theirs for the time being. That also doesn't justify the fact that you were stealing money too. I get that you guys want to win, but you need to put the law above everything else. Now this will go onto your criminal records, and I'm gonna go ahead and assume Cameron will have to face legal charges because of those actions alone. Whatever. We'll inform the other teams as to where the toy store is. But from now on, I'm keeping an eye on the 2 of you just so that you won't stir up any trouble.
What?
I don't want to hear it. You've already committed a crime, and now you have to pay the price. Now let's go.
Okay, now I think I have an idea as to how we can split the money.
How?
Kaylin, go find what you're looking for and take Raylan with you for company. Brooklyn, you're with me. Salem, Grace, and Blair, stay here and try not to do anything stupid.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me, do you guys exchange money here?
Yes. What is it that you need?
We'd like to exchange these $93 for two $20 bills, seven $10 bills, and three $1 bills.
That is very specific, but I got you covered. Yeah?
Great, thanks.
Oh, and I also wanted to ask, do you guys sell hot tubs around here?
Ma'am, this is a game store. A store specifically made for games, not hot tubs. You can probably check out the interior store down the hall from here.
More walking. You can't be serious.
We'll just be on our way now.
Found anything Cameron might like?
Nothing yet.
Hello, friend.
Who are you?
Let's just say that I'm someone you've known for a very long time.
If that's the case, how come I can't see you?
That's besides the point. Do you trust her?
Trust who? Raylan?
Yes, if that's what you call them.
Well, yeah, of course I do. They and I have been friends for as long as I can remember. Why are you asking me this?
Goodbye.
What the hell?
I found a board game I think Cameron would like.
That's great.
Are you sure you're doing okay?
Fine as ever. Let's just go.
Okay.
All right, team, we got the money split. Kaylin, take your $20. Everyone else, get your money and split off. Once you've found what you're looking for, meet me and Grace at the main entrance in about 30 minutes.
You know, you don't have to follow me.
No, but I want to. You seem to be under a lot of stress, and I want to help you in any way I can.
That's nice and all, but you really don't have to look out for me. I can take care of myself, you know.
Well, I'm still gonna stay with you no matter what.
See how she's clinging on to you? She finds you suspicious of something. It doesn't look like she trusts you.
No, she's just looking out for me.
But is that what's in your best interest right now? Exactly.
Who are you talking to?
Nothing. It's nothing. Let's just pay for the game and meet with Christopher. Dante, this toy store is on the 5th floor. Grab Desmond and we'll meet you up there.
On it. But why are you carrying those two?
Aw, you still care about me. You still love me.
Keep dreaming.
Now isn't the time to explain. Hurry.
Aaron, I thought you were covering the first floor's east wing.
Long story, but I need you to head up to the 5th floor. That's where the toy store is. Dante is grabbing Desmond and I'm letting the others know where it is.
I'll be on my way. So what kind of trouble did these two get into this time?
Desmond, change of plans. We're heading up to the 5th floor. The toy store's there.
And why should I listen to you? You're not strong enough to command me.
What does strength have to do with anything? Whatever. These weren't my words. These were Aaron's. He wants everyone up there.
Well, maybe I should hear it from him instead.
He's probably up there as we speak. We don't have time.
Yeah, probably, but we don't know for sure. He's probably still checking the east wing of this floor, so do yourself a favor and leave.
Ugh! Why do you people have to be so difficult for me to deal with?
Excuse me?
You and the others are just a bunch of things getting in my way. This competition gave me a chance to escape from all the hell you guys put me through. But unfortunately, not only do I find myself to be competing in the same show as you guys, but even worse, I'm still competing on the same team as you all. So why don't you do me a favor for once and get off the moral high horse and get your ass to the 5th floor?
Alright, is everyone here? I guess not. We're still missing Dante and Desmond. Where could they be? Damn! What happened to you? That what happened. Care to explain yourself?
Not like any of you would listen. Let's just head inside.
Alright, now that we're inside, let's look for the... Uh-oh.
What happened?
I don't remember what it was that Scott told us we were searching for. All I remember is that it was for free. That also confirms that the rest of you guys don't know what it was. Great.
So, what do we do now?
Fan off and look for an item that's free. We can work with whatever we have there. Damn it, we couldn't find anything.
Have you ever tried checking what's inside that room?
What room?
Ew, I am not touching that door.
Quit wussing around. I'll open it. I guess this will have to do for now. I got the door. Let's check it and go. Hey, we made it. Raylan went to an indoor garden to pick out a bouquet of flowers.
I just hope Cameron likes marigold flowers.
Wait, where's your item?
I had to pay for a hot tub.
Doesn't a hot tub cost more than $10? Brooklyn, what did you do?
I didn't do anything. Yet. Listen here, you pathetic waste of what you call yourself to be a human being. If it weren't for my family's rich and wealthy status, you probably wouldn't be getting paid at all. You are only lucky you're getting paid minimum wage, so either you sell me the hot tub for free, or I'll make sure you pay with your life.
Mommy!
You threatened the cashier?
Hey, it saved us some money, didn't it?
Please, that's nothing compared to what I went through.
Huh? Holy moly, watch where you're shooting knives! You could have damaged my beauty!
I'm sure Cameron would love this knife-throwing kit.
Now, how did you get that?
Thanks for the kit. I hope we can have some more fun tomorrow.
You guys do the craziest stuff. Where's Salem?
I'm right here. Well, what do you think?
You want to know what I think? I think you're an idiot. The challenge was to buy things for Cameron, not for yourself.
Watch your tongue, woman. I look way too fashionable in this drip.
Excuse me? I'll have you know that not only am I trans, but I won't take that level of disrespect. Come on, fight me, you little
Caitlin,
punk. Yeah, 1 minute.
chill.
Let's finish this.
There's nothing we can do about it now. Let's just leave before anything crazy happens to us again.
I can't believe it. This is what we have?
Yeah, even looking at it makes me sick.
Well, there's nothing we can do about it. We might as well just hand this over to Cameron and hope for a miracle that the overloads lose.
It's been at least 2 hours. What's taking everyone so long?
I don't think it should take that long to even buy something that cheap.
Who's to say they aren't buying more than one item for Cameron?
Please, nobody's that generous. Not unless they want to suck up to them so that they could win the challenge.
Sounds to me that someone hasn't been loved enough.
You shut your face, Sienna.
Or what? What are you gonna do about it?
What's going on here now?
Fight. It's our only form of entertainment right now because you had us sit on our asses for 2 hours straight.
Well, now you'll have some real entertainment. Look, the contestants are back now. Now that you guys are both back, let's see what you got. Overload, since you guys lost the last challenge, it's only fitting for you guys to go first.
No, it's not.
Just give me your presents.
You guys better have good presents.
Whoa, you guys have a lot of bags.
Yeah, we split the money in 7 different ways so that each of us could give you something that not only would be something that you like, but also something that represents what we like. There should be about $25 left.
That's very descriptive, but there's 7 of you guys. Why do I only count 5 bags?
You should be happy I'm even giving you a gift. A hot tub should be shipped on its way here by tomorrow morning.
And Salem is such a narcissist, he didn't even bother to buy you anything.
Hey, this plane looks better on me than it does with anyone else.
How generous of you, Salem.
Thank you. I try so hard to be nice to others.
Your gifts are great and all, but I'm more curious as to how you were able to split the budget. I thought I told you you guys couldn't leave the parameters of the show.
That's because we didn't. We went up to a cashier and asked them for a money exchange.
Oh. Well, regardless, your gifts are really great. Good job. Now for the musicals. Well, we got you a doll or action figure. Here it is. This is not an action figure. This is a doll. And why does he look like that? We found it in a different part of the store. Looked abandoned and it was for free. Guys, this isn't even the doll I told you about. That's a hideous Ken doll. I said to buy a computer action figure. Well, I sure as hell do not want the doll. Throw it away or burn it. I don't even care what you do with it. Just get it out of my sight.
Damn. Can I have that doll, though?
Please. Take it.
Weirdo.
Shut the hell up.
Well, it's clear as day that the winners of this challenge are the overloads. Not like their gifts would have mattered anyway.
What do you mean?
See, I specifically said that these 4 were disqualified from this challenge, meaning they could not participate in any means. However, the musicals did get advice from one of the disqualified players from their team on what to buy. Shit. So either way, even if the overloads did lose the challenge, the outcome would have been the same since the start of the challenge either way. Since the musicals broke a rule in today's challenge, I'll be seeing you guys at the elimination tonight. Make sure to vote wisely.
Wait! Shouldn't me and Scott, well, I,
Really?
get immunity? I didn't even participate in the challenge today, and I didn't interact with my team at all.
I said you'd be disqualified from the challenge, not from the elimination.
You can't be serious!
Your fault for forcing me to rush that challenge then, as well as the rest of you. Consider this a lesson. Don't do this again. Fine.
Whatever.
No promises.
Okay.
Good. Scott and Trini, you guys have an elimination to prepare for, so I suggest joining the rest of your team. Sienna and Fitzgerald, you guys can stay another day. Listen, we have to vote off Dante. Why? Because they still act like a child. You heard them about their points on robots taking over the world. Who still thinks about that? This isn't kindergarten. We're in a game show and they need to start taking things more seriously. On top of that, they don't trust me. Agreed. They kicked me all the way up to the top of the mall and gave me these permanent bruises on my face. They need to get out now. I mean, I don't have anyone to vote for, so if you guys are voting for them, then I guess I will too. Alright, I'll go spread the word.
Look, we have to get Camille out by any means necessary. She doesn't deserve to be here, especially after what I heard happened back in the mall.
Yeah, hold on. What did happen?
Erin told me that she and Madeline robbed the other team of their belongings and nearly got arrested because of that. Erin was forced to spend all our money trying to bail them.
Good point. With those two around, they'll be a huge danger to the team. But, say, if Camellia does get out, what do we do with Madeline?
We can worry about her later. Without Camille around, Maddie would have no one to follow. She's practically lost without her best friend.
Yeah, we need to do whatever it takes to get her out. It's for the good of the team.
I'll go spread the word. What the hell?
Nice to see you too, Pookie.
And it's not nice to see you. Goodbye.
I'm only here to talk. Don't you trust me?
Hell no! Not after what you did today and the last couple of times alone.
Well, why don't you consider listening to me for a bit? Unless you want your little friend over here to know about your biggest secret.
What is she talking about?
It's nothing. Come in, but make it quick.
I knew you'd trust me. Wow, your bed is so soft and cozy. It almost makes me want to fall asleep on your little shoulder.
Why don't you get to the point already? What are you here for?
Right. We have to vote off Scott.
Isn't he your guys' friend?
And yours?
He's not. Get that through your head.
And he's not our friend either. We're proposing to you on behalf of this because Scott ultimately cost us the challenge twice, in terms of disqualifying himself and helping us.
Well, I tried to warn you guys about that, but like always, you refuse to listen. Why should we vote with you?
Forget this. I'm cutting to the chase. Either we have you in, or I'll let something out. And I'm pretty sure you don't want the latter option, now do we? It's your decision. But most importantly, your own life choices will be at risk. So, what's it gonna be?
Welcome to your first elimination, Mighty Musicals. You guys sure weren't mighty when it came to buying me that gross, hideous abomination of a...
Are you okay?
Anyways, since this is your first time here and I really do not want to go over explaining the whole elimination thing, I'll just let you guys watch this video recap from the last elimination that explain how eliminations work. How this session will work is that you guys will step into that mine shaft behind me. Over there, you'll find an intersection between 4 different rails and a large glowing crystal above you all. 4 of you will go in there at once. You'll each have to pick a one part of the rail to go to. At the end of the rail, you'll find a sheet of paper with a pencil on top of a desk. All you have to do is write the name of the person you want out. Afterwards, the crystal will display a hologram of the amount of votes collected. Whoever has the most votes is out of here. Does everyone understand? What's stopping me from just voting more than one person? Everything. The first name you put down there is the only name that'll register in the hologram. The hologram is going to tell who voted more than once. Damn it. Just like last time, we'll go in alphabetical order. Erin, Camille, Dante, and Denise, you guys are up first. Are tallied, we can start. If I call your name, it means you're safe. Remember, most votes equals your downfall. Is everyone ready? No.
Bring it.
Let's just get this over with.
Oh no.
Get on with it.
Here we go. I'm ready for anything.
Oh shit.
I'm gonna survive anyway.
Alright, to start, 6 of you are safe with no votes. The first safe with no votes is Desmond. Somehow. Let's go. The next 3 people safe with 0 votes are Lucy, Denise, and Santiago.
Marge, you can continue bidding.
Nice.
Please tell me Dante's safe next.
Now the last 2 people safe with no votes are Trini and, ultimately shocking, Camille.
Well, people actually know that they shouldn't mess with me in eliminations.
There are 4 of you left. Aaron, Dante, Madeline, and Scott. The rest of you guys got votes. However, only Aaron got 1 vote, meaning he's safe. 1 vote? From who?
Please, that 1 vote was deserved. You're not even worthy of being our team captain.
Okay. Another shocking twist. Madeline is safe with 2 votes.
Ha! Take that, voters.
Honestly, I wasn't expecting her to go out this early.
Bottom 2, Dante and Scott. Both with names that have 5 letters. Wow. There are only 7 votes left. One of you guys got 3 votes, and the other got 4. Well, it's clear who's getting the boot. I don't see why anyone would vote me over Dante.
Maybe it's because you're delusional.
Excuse me, what did you just call me?
You want me to spell it out so I can get it through your thick skull? You're delusional. You always act like we're the bestest of friends, like, oh, you and I go way back when we were kids. Since then, you made me feel like absolute shit every time we hung out. High school confirmed it all when you started back-talking me to other people. You always say we're friends, but you never act like we are. You've shown your true colors, Scott, so instead of calling me a child, why don't you get your head out of the clouds and start taking this seriously? This is reality, a world you're gonna have to get used to.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie, Scott. It's not even that action alone that got you the most votes. Say, what now? Scott, with 4 votes, it's time to join Heather as you're the 2nd contestant eliminated from Reach for the Stars.
God, you weren't even a close consideration when it came to choosing someone to vote for. But not only did you disqualify yourself from the challenge, but you also made us lose. Every action you took alone is an action never given any thought. You need to start thinking through situations like these before coming up with a final decision. Jumping into things like this will only give you more problems than answers.
I understand. Well, Scott, it's time to go. Okay. Well, Aaron, it's just you and me. I wouldn't be too sure about that. See, I know I lied about gaining an advantage, but that lie was to cover up the truth. However, that truth will only lead to your downfall. I don't follow. What I'm trying to say is that while Trini was disqualified from today's challenge, she now has a choice to pick a player from the other team to put up for elimination. Trini, that power is in your hands now.
That is so cool! But what about our downfall?
The thing is, the team can do the same thing to you, but they have a bigger advantage. Since they had 2 players disqualified, they can put 2 people up for elimination. Scott was another disqualified player, but now that they're out, they can't make that decision. Alongside that, a team will still be put up for elimination. So a total of about 11 people will be put up for elimination.
What?
Wait, back up. Are you saying that 3 people will automatically be put up for elimination? Then whichever team loses will have to face elimination with them?
Yup.
This might be the most riskiest elimination we've had to face so far. And it's only been 2 challenges.
Oh yeah, that's right. Everyone, you're free to leave now. Dante, I need to speak to you in private.
Okay?
What's on your mind?
Nothing. I just wonder what Cameron needs with Dante of all people, and why.
I'm sure it's nothing important.
Well, Cameron, what do you need to talk to me about?
You said you wanted to have a couple of days off for the show, right?
Right.
I'll allow it, but you have to come back before the final 6. I don't want it to seem like you're flying by this competition just to get far. This has to be because you're not feeling mentally well.
Cameron, I promise you I'll come back as soon as I can. Give me until the merge. I'll be back by then. I just need time to process why I'm competing with people like Camille and Madeline and Desmond and Aaron. Now that Scott's off my back, it gives me a little sense of security. But I can't sleep yet knowing that they're all back. Probably they're more powerful than before.
Understood. You're free to go now.
Thanks.
Yeah, you should really watch what you say. That's what you get when she goes across the line with me. She knows she's good as a team on weak side with voting against me. Useless!
No. I'm not going to take this. Not only am I not going to let him treat me like trash, but I'm also not going to let my own team make fun of me just because of that one challenge. They didn't listen to me when I wanted to be listened to, so why should I listen to them? Excuse me. I would like to file a restraining order.